Count money, man. Stack riches. Try and told him I'm a beast, bud.
What's up, gang? Welcome to the Grindcast. Simon Arias here. Get ready, it's a new day.
So, you know, what would you say are some of the mistakes people make real estate investing or just investing in general?
Yeah, so I could probably talk on this one all day. I mean,
go ahead, bro.
You know, being
we're going to help people with this.
Yeah, so being involved with ACRE, the Real Estate Investors Club, you see a lot of new people coming, a lot of people coming and going, and then just being involved with that whole side of the business. I mean, you see a lot of stuff that's out there. People tend to get caught up again in shiny object syndrome. They see the quote unquote guru on the internet selling a course, with the big ass car. The big
waterfall,
the big house, the big cars, all that stuff. Come do this, come do that. That, and then HGTV. People watch those shows, flip this house, whatever that is. They think they can do it. So people go, oh, how hard could it be? They do it in 30 minutes, right? So they go buy. I'm going to flip a house. Well, if you know nothing about real estate, if you know nothing about market cycles, if you know nothing about the different areas that you're investing in, you can overpay for a property, buy in the wrong area. And then the big thing is construction. I mean, if you don't know anything about construction, you have no business flipping a house. We're blessed. We got good relationships with contractors, again, good friends of ours. But if you're just out of the blue, I'm going to flip a house, I'm going to go hire a contractor. Contractors are tough, man. I mean, they're tough to deal with. You end up you see people underestimating repairs or over improving the house. Oh, I saw this on TV. I'm gonna put this $30,000 kitchen in this house. Well, you're gonna sell the house for $150,000. You don't need a $30,000 kitchen, right? So over improving the house, not underestimating repairs, buying in the wrong areas, and then market cycles. You got to understand market cycles. So when you're buying a house to flip, if it doesn't make sense as a rental, and you can't afford to keep it long term, you shouldn't be flipping that house. So
because you could get stuck with it, like hot potato.
You need multiple exit strategies. Yeah. So when you get into higher end homes, builds and new builds and flips and stuff like that. I mean, if you're
that's the shiny thing that you got to really know what you're talking. So people think, well, I'm going to buy this for $500,000.
Right.
I'll put $100,000 into it, and I'm going to sell it for $1 million.
Yeah.
And I'm going to just screw your model. I'm going to make $300,000 on my shit now.
Right.
Versus this is what you're talking about is sounds good.
Yeah. Everything looks good on a spreadsheet.
Right.
I mean, it's with those higher end homes, I mean, they're more expensive. And then a lot of people will be borrowing money to do those short-term, high-interest money. You got cost of the money, you got property taxes. You get into a $500,000+ home, I mean, you're $1,000 a month just in property taxes. Your cost of money, I mean, your holding cost could be $4, $5, $6 a month on that house. So let's say
till it flips.
Yeah, yeah. So let's say it takes an extra 10 months to sell. Well, there's 50, 60 grand you didn't account for. And then when you get into bigger houses, stuff costs more. So if you have a rehab budget of $100,000 or something, you start $150,000, you start opening up walls or doing stuff, or you find things that you got to deal with. I mean, big houses are big money. Unforeseen can be a big cost.
And then when the market cycles, there's people think about the market crash, the real estate crash, all of that stuff that we've seen happen in the past. Those are the houses that I've learned are a little bit more susceptible to those crashes, right? If you're owning a $500,000 property or $1 million property, if the market goes wild, those are the homes that are first, going to feel that hit versus the middle. Regular houses, regular neighborhood deal. Yeah. Can you give us a little insight on that?
Yeah, so the market cycles typically every 12 to 14 years. Last crash was in 2008, so do the math. I mean, we're
right in the 12 to 14 year range.
We're coming due for a correction.
Right.
I mean, we all thought COVID was going to be the correction, but when it hit, it was all this unknown. To everybody's surprise, we came out strong. I mean, the market's crazy right now. But regardless, I mean, there's things that you can't control. I mean, once these hackers are like, hacking into whatever these software things and, asking for $70-80 million in ransom. I mean, what if they get into the banking industry or something? I mean, banking could shut down. Banking shuts down. I mean, guess what? Home sales stop because everybody finances everything. And then when markets correct, the A neighborhoods are typically the first to go. We invest, our portfolios are in B-class neighborhoods because across the board in Pittsburgh, regular houses, regular neighborhoods, there's always a need for that housing regardless of market cycles. It's just a matter of, when we're in a good market, our residents may be more inclined to cash out and purchase the home because financing is available. If we're in a down market, a market correction, the folks that are losing their homes that didn't belong in the A neighborhoods, they're coming back to the Bs where they belong. So there'll be a greater demand for residents.
It's a little bit less risk, with that.
Yeah.
Tell us something that maybe somebody wouldn't know about you.
Yeah, it was something that somebody doesn't know about me.
Like nobody knows nothing about it. Like what is it, dog?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one because with social media, everybody knows everything about you.
Right. But there's got to be something that you didn't say.
Gotta be something.
Something you ain't saying on social media.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it might not be known, but I like extreme sports. So I like extreme sports and fast cars and louder.
What do you mean by extreme sports?
Like what type of extreme?
Anything. I mean, if we can jump in it, off it, or.
So you like to jump out of an airplane?
Yeah, I haven't.
Would you do that?
I haven't gone. My wife went skydiving.
Really, skydiving?
Yeah,
man.
Her 10-year anniversary for being cancer free. She jumped out of a plane. Yeah. So she jumped out of a plane before I did. But I don't know, just anything. I mean, we like skiing, downhill mountain biking, motorcycles, fast cars. I don't ride motorcycles anymore. I got 2 kids.
I stopped doing that too. Yeah, I love bikes.
Yeah,
I love
anything. I mean, I'll try anything once for the most part, but like I said, I have 2 kids now, so I tend to think things through a little bit more.
Give us some things that maybe some tips. What do you remember about how you got through that period with Christine getting cancer and beating cancer?
Yeah. So that was back in 2010. On her 27th birthday, she was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer. Very rare form of breast cancer. And she got the diagnosis and everything, everything kind of stopped. So it was, all the question marks, all the unknowns that come along with that. She's we're newly married. Planning to start a family, stuff like that. And she's hit with that. And then she, trying to work through that. That's when I quit my job. Not because I was ready financially, but I thought I knew enough about real estate that, I'm working 50, 60 hours a week at my job, and then I'm working on the real estate all weekend. And
what was your job?
Working in a body shop. I was fixing cars.
You were
nice.
You were fixing
Come on,
cars?
he was fixing cars.
Yeah.
You were a body man.
I was a body man.
That's my type of guy right there. All right.
I cut them in half and put it back together.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, welder and all.
Yeah, everything. Start to finish.
Come
So yeah, I'm working full time, trying to do the real estate full time, and then my wife's diagnosed with breast cancer, and trying to be there for doctor's appointments, stuff like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, nobody will understand, what you're
that
going
entails.
through. I don't understand what she went through. I mean, I was there for her, but it's a lot. It's a lot to go through. So, so I quit my job. I figured I knew enough about the real estate that I could make it work, and I could have a little bit of flexibility in my schedule so that I could try to be there a little bit more. And, got through that. Had a good response to the chemotherapy. There were some setbacks. I mean, she ended up in ICU a couple of times with some infections, stuff like that. The chemo, she had a good response to the radiation, and now she's been in the clear for 10 years.
Wow.
Come on.
Yeah.
Love that.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Come on. Congratulations.
Love that. Congratulations,
Congrats.
man.
Yeah.
Tips on how you guys together or individually, how would you suggest like somebody getting through something like that, that's going through something like
that's
that?
it.
It's tough.
It's tough.
Man.
It's tough.
Yeah, it really is tough. I mean, you don't know You don't know what it's like until you go through it. Yep. So, and like I said, I was there. I was trying to be there as much as I could.
So as a spouse,
yeah.
Even though it wasn't you, but it is you. It's your family. It's your wife. As a spouse, there's a lot of listeners right now. I guarantee somebody out there has gone through it or going through it right now.
Oh, yeah.
As a spouse, what tips would you have or that you remember is like, all right, these were good things, or here's some do's and don'ts. If you're going through that, here's what helped us get through that moment, or here's what got me through that moment. Anything you could think of.
You just got to be there. You got to be there. I wasn't there enough. I tried to be there. I probably wasn't there and supportive as I could have been or should have been. So
you were building a business.
Yeah.
You quit your job. You're building a business at the same time this is going on.
Yeah.
And still going to work.
Yeah. 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 You have to. You have to. So, advice. You got. It's not so much about what could I have done to support her. But they have to be. When somebody's going through that, they need to connect with people that are going through the same thing, like with anything. So, and that's part of why she started the 412 Thrive, the charity that she runs now. So it's a nonprofit, 100% give back. Basically, what they did. There's another group who I think you're aware of, Glimmer of Hope, who's big in Pittsburgh. They're more so on the fundraising side to ultimately hopefully find a cure for cancer. They support a lot of the medical associations and stuff like that. But my wife's group, 412 Thrive, they're just a support group. So they do get-togethers with people that are have gone through it, that are going through treatments and stuff like that. They do monthly get-togethers. They do calls. They do outings. They do. When people are going through treatments, they do care packages, different like mastectomy bags and stuff like that. They do like meal trains.
So they're connecting with people that are going through it from people that already gone through it, and they're encouraging them.
They're connecting, and they can connect. Because they've been there. They've been there. They've been through it. We were fortunate at the time. We didn't have kids. That's what we had to deal with. But imagine going through something like that, and you got 2-3 kids running around the house.
No doubt.
And mom can't be there.
No doubt.
Mom's sick. Mom's not feeling good. My wife, she's a beast with the kids. So she
all-star.
Yeah, she runs a tight ship at home, and she does really well. She's a great mother, and I couldn't imagine her going through something like that now with those two maniacs running around the house.
Shout out to her, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Speaking of something that somebody wouldn't know about you, quick question.
Yeah.
Take a guess. I'll give you two different ones. One, I think you probably know. Do you know Perm's real first name?
Perm's real first? I thought it was Perm.
Perm's real first name here.
That's
Perm's
it.
real
You got
first
it,
name.
man. You got it. How'd you get that, man? You're good. No one got it, but you.
Take a guess.
What, first name?
Him guessing your first name.
I did
First
know,
name.
I did know this, but
Three guesses.
I know him as Perm.
3 guesses.
I know him as Perm.
That's it.
Come on.
Can I look it up real quick? Can I phone a
you
friend?
got off the fly.
Nope.
Can I phone a friend?
Nope. That's what makes it funny. That's what makes it fun. What's his
phone a
first
friend?
name?
Come on,
Perm's
Josh, you got
first
me, bro.
name.
Perm's first name.
You got me, dog. Come on with it. I believe in you. You worked on cars. You got this.
I'm gonna go with Jose.
You got it. First name. All right.
Come on. All right. We're getting close now.
That was the warm up.
Go ahead.
Really.
Yeah, that was the warm up. Okay.
Now, what's my middle name? If you can. Now this you get what 3?
3 guesses.
So we're doing this all the time on podcasts.
3
to see
guesses.
Who can get it? So this is 3 questions to see if you can know what my middle name is.
Have no.
If he gets it, I'm donating to a charity of his choice. Can't be in
Sure,
some
come on.
Nobody gets it, but
No
3
one gets it.
guesses.
Yeah.
3 guesses. Zone it. Go ahead, go.
Perm's middle name.
Jose. I'm at a loss here, man. I got Jose.
Don't get out like that. You got to get 3 guesses.
Jose.
EC. That's EC1, Papi.
This
one
Jose.
little harder.
I don't even know a middle
I
name
don't
that would follow
match with that, right? That's why I
Jose.
said the same thing, brother.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume it's not Simon.
No, that's the one.
Is that one guess?
That's
No bueno.
Okay,
one guess.
2 guesses.
Probably not Cuervo.
Oh, Cuervo.
Oh, Jose Cuervo.
I think, no, I don't think that too much. Go ahead.
We'll go with Poppy. That'd be a good
All right, Papi, you don't got it, but it's a good try.
Perm
Good try.
Poppy. This one we never exposed, so stay tuned on that one.
Sure,
Stay tuned on that one. Now tell me, excuse me, Why don't you talk a little bit about in your perspective of it? Mm-hmm. I told my perspective how we got connected, but Inspiring Minds Pittsburgh, what made you want to get involved? How did you get involved? And what are your thoughts and overall feeling right now for where we're at?
Yeah. So Inspiring Minds Pittsburgh, how we got involved was, again, it goes back to when the kids and when they were born and stuff. I mean, we're big on setting a good example for the children. So, back when the kids were born, I think I told you this a couple of times. I even sent it to you a few times, Simon. But when the kids were born, everybody was in the ICU. My wife was in the ICU with heart and lung failure. The kids were in the NICU, 7 weeks premature, and I was at Jimmy John's and getting something to eat. It was like midnight, 2 a.m, something like that. And I look up, I see a sign on the wall, and it says success is not measured by wealth, cars, or possessions. Success is measured by what your kids say about you when they're talking to your friends. So I read that, I took a picture of it, and I look at it all the time. And it's all about setting a good example for the kids, and just being there for them, and trying to be a good father. But part of that is like showing them it's not what we have, it's like what we're doing. So we're big on supporting people that need help. And the big thing that we do, that we support, is my wife runs 412 Thrive. The other big thing right now that we're working on is Inspiring Minds. So we're blessed with our circle of friends. So we've been killing it over the last year or so, getting the program going. We got a great support system with our board of directors. I mean, I've been involved with other board of directors, and you have too, and Perm, you have too, and it's like, there's a lot of idea people on boards. It's like, oh, we should do this. It's like, all right, we'll go ahead and do it.
Who wants to do the work? No action.
Nobody wants to do it. But, when our board, Inspiring Minds Pittsburgh, like, hey, it's like everybody's all in. Yeah. So you call anybody and say, hey, can you do this? Can you do that? Somebody calls you, calls me, whatever, you need to do this, it gets done. I mean, there's no follow-up needed. So we're blessed in that capacity that allows us to grow the organization. And how we got involved with it was, like you said, I saw what you were doing with Youngstown, and it's amazing. I mean, giving back to your hometown. You guys grew up in Youngstown. You worked hard, got to where you're at, and I saw you giving back to your hometown and the youth, and that's where it all starts, is with the kids. And
sure.
We can't save them all, but if we save a handful of kids, or redirect a handful of kids,
no doubt.
Fortunately, you had some redirection in your youth, and I think that was playing ball when you went off to college. But had you not had that redirection, you'd probably still be a business owner. just
in the right
different business owner,
different kind of business. So,
yes. Me and Perm.
But and you see that, like, you see the impact that you guys were making in Youngstown in Ohio, and it's like, kids need that everywhere. And a lot of people don't realize that. A lot of people that haven't been in that area, they don't realize, like, these kids go home hungry at the end of the day. It's not that these kids want an Xbox, or they want a new pair of Jordans, or they want this, or they want that. Like, they're hungry. They want to eat. They want to eat. They want food. They want somebody to love them. They want somebody to guide them. A lot of those kids, they're growing up with little to no guidance. I mean, parents aren't around, or parents just don't give a shit. Parents don't care if they go to school. Parents don't care if they eat. So we're there to expose them. I mean, the first day we went out with our kids from Inspiring Minds, we went to all of our businesses. We brought them here. They saw the Grindcast room. Went to Emery's over at Armina Stone. Went up, saw some construction projects. Ryan took them down to Heinz Field. We showed them around. Real eye opener that day was, these kids are from McKees Rocks. We took them to Grandview Avenue, which is about a mile from their house. Overlooks the city. There's 1 million visitors a year. I think there was 5 kids in my truck. 3 out of 5 kids have never been to Grandview Avenue.
Never been there.
Never been there. It's free. It's free. I mean, you get up there, they were amazed. You get up there, you see the city, you see the rivers, you see the boats, you see all the stuff. I mean, you can see, You look close enough, you can almost see China. I mean, but
from Pittsburgh, 3 out of 5 never been
to Grandview Avenue
to even see that view.
So I mean, just exposing these.
Takes everything in me not to bring up what one of the kids said. You remember that one?
Oh, D.
Yeah.
D's my man. Yeah. Over at the Heinz History Center.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Didn't he say this one we could cut off maybe? Giovanni, we could bleep it out. No, don't say it. Giovanni said, don't say it. All right, we ain't gonna say it. On the side, I'm gonna tell you what he said. It's hilarious. All right, wrapping up. To close out, can you give us just overall tips on success, business, entrepreneurship success? You're downplaying it a lot. I don't think people would even understand how well that you actually do with your businesses. What tips would you give to somebody in your 20-year journey of building something as a business owner? What tips could people gather no matter what industry?
Yeah, I mean, regardless of the industry, as you said, I'm 20 years in, so
process.
Yeah, it's process, and you can't give up. I mean, you got to be relentless. You got to do the shit that you don't want to do.
How do you do the shit you don't want to do?
You gotta be relentless. I mean, it's got to get done. If you're not going to do it, if the business owner's not going to do it, nobody's going to do it for you. Sure. So you got to make sure stuff's getting done. You got to be relentless. You got to stay focused. I mean, again, I see so many people come and go. It's like they get started, and you see this all the time, I'm sure. You have somebody come in, they start making some calls and setting some appointments. Then maybe they're not closing as many deals as they want, and they get a paycheck or two, and all of a sudden they're not making mid 6 figures a year and driving exotic cars, and they're out. Right. So I mean, it's a process.
I wanted what you got.
Yeah, it's
now.
Now it's I want what you got, but I don't want to do what you did. Right.
Yeah.
So it's a process. You got to put the work in. You got to stay focused. You got to, just focus, action, repeat. Just got to do it over and over and over again. And like my business, and same with your business. I'm sure it can be a boring process, but you got to do the process to get the reward. You got to put the work in, and
see, no matter what, that's what people don't understand. Right. Like, you're in real estate. You may love real estate. I love what we do, but there's parts of the things that you need to do to grow that in that process suck. And they're boring, and you got to do them. You got to do them. So those are the things how do we encourage somebody versus like you just do it? Like, is there anything that you could give a person, inspire them to get through to them of like, listen, man, here's what it's about. If there's a kid listening, like there's some things that you don't like to do, but here's how you got to look at that. Here's the way that you got to perceive that.
Yeah. Well, on that, I mean, I think the big like for me, my mentality is I've always been, I want more. I want to grow bigger. I want to get better. And I had a very short career in corporate America where I had a salary, a company car, and stuff like that. And it didn't matter how hard I worked or how many hours I put in or how few hours I put in. The same check every 2 weeks. And when I went into my business, it's like, the more you work, the better processes you put in, the better systems you put in, the more you hold yourself accountable, the better you do. And you gotta look at the results. And for me now, it's more so about growing the business for my family, for creating legacy, generational wealth. So that's where we're at. I mean, bills are paid for, stuff's paid for, and it's more about growth and doing it for my kids and my family at this point.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love that.
So how could people find you social media wise, get a hold of you if they got investing questions or people want to invest with you or learn more about your company or what you do? How would people be able to find you?
Social media. Instagram is Avid Investor, AVID Investor. Facebook is just my name, Josh Adamek, or call my office, 412-223-6748.
That's the plug right there, brother.
There we go.
I love that.
So, hey, Josh, thank you for your heart. Thank you for everything that you do for other people, for our circle of friends, and I'm proud of you and excited for you, man.
Thank you.
You're just now catching steam. Sky's the limit. So, thanks for your time and investing some time to be on the Grindcast and add value. Share this. If you guys don't mind, share this with somebody that you think would appreciate the real estate conversations. And we thank everybody for your time. Another investment into the Grindcast. Get ready. It's a new day.
Count money, man. Stack riches. Try and told him I'm a beast, bud.